Welcome to my energy update. And yes, this is an energy update that I'm recording and sharing with you on a Tuesday. Well, what is going on? This is not the usual routine. Well, this video is all about change, right? So this is actually quite funny that I'm actually didn't record my video yesterday. It's today. Now, Marie's a real stickler for rhythm, routine, and everything has got to be just so. And here I was yesterday, not able to do an energy update, tried, but just wasn't in the right energy. And I was like, well, I'm going to respect that. The old Marie would have gone, no, push on through. It's Monday. This is the day we do energy update, and really fought against the, against the energy of that. And then I just left it alone. And I was like, right, okay, today's the day to do the video. And this is kind of like quite a big change for me, because when something so small ripples into my life where I'm not doing an energy update on a Monday, like that tells me that how we're showing up out there is changing. And that speaks volumes to me. And quite honestly, probably about 6 months to a year ago, had I felt that energy, I would have pushed on through. I would have recorded that video come hell or high water, and I would have come out the end with a nosebleed going, I won. I did the video on a Monday. But I'm now working and moving with the energies, because time's a mental construct anyway. And, we are really aligning with divine timing. Now, in my last video, I was talking about the rain spider of Africa and the African leopard toad, and the message that they brought through, which was a lot of medicine and a lot of messages for us. But their resounding message, they both had the same medicine of everything is in divine timing and sacred timing, and it's not happening just yet, but it's coming. And that was a real powerful message. It just calmed everything, because it's like that's us being in divine flow. It's like, instead of pushing and forcing reality, you're now honoring that and kind of going, okay, well, that feels a bit too sticky to push through. I guarantee a year ago you would have pushed through it. Now you're sitting there and going, kind of like not sweating the small stuff. So that tells you are indeed transforming at a rate of knots. And this is what this video is all about, transformation, because it is indeed the new moon in Scorpio, which, depending on where you are in the world, it's either going to be Wednesday, but mostly Thursday this week. So this is not a time for manifestation. That is not a time to go and do your new wishes. That sounds bonkers and crazy that I'm saying that on a new moon. This moon hits a little bit different. We've all been feeling it. Now, for a start, obviously the dark moon comes and then we go into new moon, right? So there's those phases, but this moon has been darker for longer. And what it's actually bringing in, which is quite interesting, because I experienced this on the weekend, you have this perception, because this moon is in its dark phase for longer, it kind of slows everything down. So if you're slowing down, it's a bit like the Matrix. If you're slowing down, it appears like everything around you is speeding up. So how does that communicate to the human mind, which is incorrect, by the way? You might perceive it as like, oh, everybody else has got their wealth and wisdom codes. Everybody else is steaming ahead forward. Everybody else's life seems to be popping off and aligning, but mine isn't. I seem to be going backwards or feeling very stagnant. But that is actually not in truth what's going on. It is just the energy of this new moon to get us to be still. This is so important, to be so still right now, as in presence. You can still go about your day, but presence, stillness inside. Be the calm, because the storm is out there. But that's what this moon's bringing on. But as it kind of like slows everything down, like the Matrix, it appears like everybody's racing ahead of you, and that kind of like triggers, our negative narrative. So if you have been feeling that bullshit, poppycock, as I say, throw it out, but keeping it real. I felt like that over the weekend. I met some powerful creators and some wonderful people, and I just looked around me and was like, why do I feel so stagnant? Yet I was the one with all the answers for their conversations that was being had. And I was like, how come I feel like I'm the one that's really not quite running with the crowd here? They're ahead of me. So that's what happened. And then Sunday came in. Let's talk about Sunday. That was a very, very powerful day, because some mass energy came in. Again, all in the name of slowing down. Last week was 11/11. Last week was Solar Storms Deluxe. And we are now integrating the aftermath of those storms, which came through and slammed us still on Sunday. I got up out of bed. I went back to bed. I was sick the whole day. And but I couldn't move. I was in and out of consciousness, not sleeping. Very weird. And then woke up Monday, which was yesterday, full of beans. So there's a lot going on, and the body, because it's now it's a physical conversation we're having now. This is where we're at. I've been talking a lot about Thoth and the sacred architecture. I've been talking a lot about like as above, so below, so within, so without. It is time to bring the idea of you in its highest timeline, in its fullness, in the physical world. That's what we're doing. manifestation, but that's where we're at. So we really are fine tuning the physical body, how our physical body is maybe slightly misaligned with the original idea. So we're tuning up with that right now. So all of these experiences that I'm speaking of right now is in the name of that. So honor it, love it, respect it. If it's negative, it's bullshit, it's not real. If it's positive, where it's kind of like, yeah, I really want to rest, that's real. Go and do that. You know what I mean? So we've been talking a lot about this Scorpio moon. Obviously, Scorpio is the underworld. So there is very much an energy of descending into the underworld once more. But before you go eye roll, oh my God, here we go again. You're not afraid of the boogeyman anymore. You're not afraid of the dark. You don't sleep with the nightlight on. So now we go down into the underworld in a different capacity altogether. We don't go under there being dragged by our ankle from the middle world, clawing our nails into the soil where we're like, no. That's what it was like before. But like it was for me anyway, kicking and screaming. But now we're really okay and comfortable with that dark space because we know that that is, in fact, the divine feminine, and it's where everything is. And we go down there to kind of rest, rejuvenate, activate, restore, reconfiguration. It's where the good stuff is. And now we've got made peace with that realm. We know that going down there is the ultimate activating factor to everything else that we want going up here. For years and years and years, we've avoided going down there, but little did we know that going down there was the key code, the activator for us to be in balance. So now we're willingly going under there. So don't be scared of this new moon taking you to that place, because it's all about stillness, rejuvenation. Remember, we're on the latter end of the 2025, which is a number 9-year completion. Be here for all of these things. Be here for it. Enjoy it. Like, receive it. Okay. So Anubis, I know I've been talking to a few of you about Anubis. He's been showing up. Makes sense. Sekhmet is just breathing down my neck constantly, and I've got Thoth on the left side here. I'm literally sandwiched between them. I will talk more about this as the month goes on, but I will just say, talking to Thoth and Sekhmet today, they came to me in real time. They don't usually, it's kind of like, it's more like a sensing and I do visualize them, but they turn up real time. Like I can tell you, even now, I'm recalling it, the beautiful silken woven fabric that Thoth was wearing in his clothing. I can hear now the sound of him stood there. There was a slight rustle, and Sekhmet was there, and I could actually see and feel her fur. I felt her fur up against me, and they were really pressed in. And I was like, okay, guys, this is a little bit intimate. And they were like, you don't understand. Like this is the time now. This is the time, and what you're about to step into is the ultimate of your mission and purpose, and you need to be ready, not through a fear factor, just like, it's finally here, sweet soul, it's finally here. And then when they said that, it all made sense, where I was more accepting of these energies coming in to make me just sit the fuck down, because my version of sitting down is going for CrossFit. My version of resting is basically going up up the mountain for a hike with the dogs. Do you know what I mean? So I had to really adjust my relationship to resting and actually really understanding the value in that. And I'm listening now. So reset, slowing down, and being still, basically being still. So this is another thing. So I've been working a lot with the principles. So if you'd like to have a look at the newsletter that you signed up for, I've done a really cool, I'm starting to write now, ever such a lot, having a great time. Thoth is flowing through me, and my newsletter's now full of really, really cool stories, energy codes, and all the rest of it. And it's like the lighter side of this journey. And I'm speaking a lot about the principles, the sacred principles. And also on my website, there is now a blog now which deepens into what I teach you here. And it's all about the 7 principles, the 7 Hermetic principles, right? Now, one of those principles is called the principle of vibration, okay? Now, the teachings of that is probably the most main teaching of that principle, is that the one thing you can guarantee on, which is fact and truth, which never changes, is change. Change is a constant. Change is a constant. In every single moment, energy and vibration is moving. So we can't stop that. It's nothing goes down to a halt. Everything is always vibrating at a certain level. It's up to you to ascertain what level that vibration wants to vibrate at. So you want to be in a low vibration where you can sit there, or you can actually be the creator and the conscious leader of your experience. You don't force reality, you command it through the principle of vibration, and just change it. Do you know what I mean? Change it. So this is what's going on. There is being being in this energy right now and resisting it is you trying to slow the vibration down, saying, no, it's not happening. It's happening. So get used to that. So let go or be dragged is what I'm trying to say. So can we move with this energy of these final latter moments of 2025? Can we really honor ourselves and give ourselves the wealth code of rest to be able to fully activate what it is that needs to come online? Because nobody can do open heart surgery on you if you're running down the highway. Do you know what I mean? You need to be still. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to, sew a button on your shirt and you're like that and you're like, can you keep still, please? Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of vibe, right? So now the pendulum swing. This is actually another Hermetic principle as well. And like I say, this is in my blog, a very basic Gospel of Marie intro to the 7 Hermetic principles. Really easy for you to understand. I'll put the link in the write-up. Pop along there and have a little read. And then you'll really feel that these Hermetic principles are going to help you move as a master, because that's what you are, through these timelines, right? So the pendulum swing, what you could be experiencing, because I know I have you been experiencing like, oh my God, this is really heavy and I just feel so stagnant and awful. I feel like a bag of shit today. And then all of a sudden we pendulum swing that way and you're like, so much support, so much through motion, so much fluidity and flow. And oh my God, I just want to stay here. And then we keep doing that. That's kind of like the changes upon us. That spirit saying, yeah, your head's, it's like you're birthing, you're crowning. You're like, oh yeah, this is the real shiz here. Do you know what I mean? And then we go into the old way and we go, oh, this is horrible. Now, if that old shit really, really takes your breath away, that shows you just what a badass you were, because you lived in that. You lived in that constantly. That was your normal. But now you've started to like breathe different oxygen. You now start to realize how shit that was. You were able to hold your energy in that. How powerful are you? Now we're going over here. But now the ticket is the absolute sweet spot, and the point of magnetism and mastery is to be able to come from these pendulum swings and then eventually come into the sweet spot. Now remember the principle of, this is the principle of rhythm. Principle with the rhythm is very much the pendulum swing, very much connected to the solar plexus, because that's what our emotions do. Absolute joy, absolute depression, absolute clarity, complete confusion. And that is part of the solar plexus swing, actually. And if you think about it, it makes sense that solar plexus is also Sekhmet's chakra as well, because she transmutes all of those lower frequencies of fear into courage, Makes sense. So this is the principle of rhythm, but rhythm is also about understanding that there is an ebb and flow to everything. So now what's happening as we gain our mastery, we're being okay. We're not being so traumatized of going, well, that was shit. And now we're like, it is so good. And when we come out of that portal, we're upset and traumatized because we're not there anymore. We're understanding that there is a natural order with these swings, and it's just how energy is. So we are aligning with it, which is a very good thing. And I will give you a perfect example of my experience yesterday. So of course I told you that I was in bed sick all day Sunday, really was unplugged. Spirit's like, you ain't moving. So I didn't. I stayed there all day. And then yesterday I woke up with fire, gumption, like leadership codes. Like basically yesterday I was the living, breathing version of what I want to be constantly. And I knew though, because I felt so expanded, which is very portal energy, I knew today was going to be a bit of a crashing day. But let's change that. Cancel and delete. Not a crashing day, a contraction day. Yesterday was an expansion. Today is a contraction. And I have to live accordingly to support myself with that. So am I going to go to the gym today and do the workout I did yesterday? No, I'm going to do yin yoga. Am I going to work this afternoon? Probably not, because I've got some body work I'm going to receive. So while I'm in this low lull, I'm going to really squeeze the juice on things that can support me in that low lull, because there's advantages of being here. But in the old days, I'll be like, don't want to be here, because I was holding on to the high too much, just like a junkie. So we know that we can't sustain that high, because if we do, then there's a fucking massive come down. We have to find the sweet spot, right? So we're getting better at this as we go along. So big fat tick, you've passed, you know what I mean? And you get a gold star, right? So now, we are moving towards, if you want a word of the day here, and this is what I'm working towards here, and Sekhmet will very much assist you with this. This is stability. You are working towards stability, right? So now stability is all about the Jed, and it's about Osiris. He didn't leave. We've been working with him so much. He's very much around still. So the Jed is kind of like a contraption, which it's like an electricity tool that they used back in the day. But if you look at the hieroglyphs or you look it up, Jed is D-J-E-D, and it's called the spine of Osiris. Now, without going into the absolute mythological history of it, let's keep it simple, but it's like a box with some lines across it and a kind of like a lid. Anyway, that is always seen in the hieroglyphs of like Sekhmet giving it to the pharaohs, or you know, the gods and goddesses giving it to the pharaohs, because when the pharaoh holds that Jed, they are saying that they are claiming stability as a conscious leader, as a way shower, as a space holder, being a pharaoh, right? So that gift from the gods to the pharaoh is about stability. So for me, the opposite of fire can be stability. Fire is anger. So this is where Sekhmet was showing me all of this rah-rah. She said, well, actually stability, you want to harness those flames. You don't want to extinguish them, but you want stability. And that spine of Osiris is your spine. It's your strength. So I believe all of this, like folding like pastry, what we're working towards here is that stability, which AKA sweet spot, otherwise known as also kind of like the magnetic point of attraction. So we don't want to be in these high and lows. We need to be in the sweet spot, right? So now, 3 cards. I was going to say there was something else I was going to share with you. So these are the 3 cards. I suppose you can call it intention plus action equals creation. The first one, and by the way, just because I always like to showcase people's cards, Rebecca Campbell has brought out a new deck, the Inner Temple, and these came out about a month ago, and they're really quite lovely. I like it because it's more of the underworld kind of stuff, hence the Inner Temple, the underworld, the Dark Priestess. I love this, you know, and these cards are really, really good. So let's share with you what came up. So we got the Holiest Temple. So that there is all referencing the physical body. What can you do to bring that light? Okay, because that's us right now, bringing that light into the physical body. What can you do to support it? That's why everybody's having body issues right now, whether it's sickness, illnesses, imbalances, or whatever. It's very much of this world and realm, and it's good because we need to address that, because that's your sacred architecture. The Holiest Temple is indeed your sacred architecture and how you show up in the physical world. Now, another card to back that up. So that was the intention, look after the physical body. This here, just watch me. Now you can see, just watch me. Why? What are you going to do? I'm going to twirly whirly out there in the world and look like so amazing and magical. And I am ready, man. I'm going out there. I'm flexing. I'm enjoying. I mean, when I say flexing, I don't mean being in your ego. Flexing as in just like having fun and just going, look at me, in a very fun, playful way. And then just watch me. Just like a kid who's doing cartwheels and saying, Mom, look at this. We all watch the kid, right? And go, woo, we clap and we say, yay, and we celebrate them. Just watch me. What are you holding back on and not coming into the physical world? What do you got inside there? It's time to let it out. Now this card is really cool because this would be like intention plus action equals creation. Now this card I picked that way up. I didn't do it that way because the unseen means something completely different. I picked it this way, the seen. So that is all about being in the physical realm, being seen for who and what you be. No more sitting on the sidelines and hiding. Like I said, the new moon, let go or be dragged, moving with it, moving with your tribe, moving with your pride. So these are very positive cards that back up this kind of like energy reading. Okay. So that's it for me. I'm going to leave that there with you, and I will be doing some more videos this week. And like I say, don't even look at the timetable because that might just be how it is. I don't know what day I'm doing videos this week. But anyway, from my heart to yours, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.